So on this training call, we're actually going to be focusing on the listing side of things real quick. I just want to make sure you guys have a good understanding of how that process looks like beyond the listing presentation, of course, meeting them in person. But it all starts with the listing packages that we do have on hand. We did our best to really break this down for you guys as clearly as possible. But in the last few days, I've been getting a lot of messages about these packages, and so I wanted to kind of go through it again with you guys. So these two packages are just guidelines, right? Minimum guidelines that you must meet, right? Unless there is an exception based on the client maybe selling something that's really at a higher price, or something that we know it's going to sell pretty quickly, or if they're planning on actually purchasing a property as well. So this can change and be altered under those circumstances. But if it's just a straight shot listing, you really want to stick with these guidelines. So the 1.5% on the minimum side will include all these noted items. And then on the 2.5%, you get these additional items here, right? So the main thing that stands out is the staging, interior design consultation. So those are the extras. Keep in mind, we cover all of these costs up front. Only the staging costs get split with the agent after the deal is done. But if the deal does fall through, given that it is a balanced market, there's a higher chance of that happening. Know that your capital is secured, just that your time was spent. Just keep that in mind. Now, we do work with HouseMax. It's our main supplier here on the marketing, but we do encourage you guys to use your own trades if you do have, but there is caps on this stuff. And this is specifically for House Sigma clients. Just keep that in mind. So if you're using different photographers or marketing brochures or whatever it is, these are your caps here, okay? So make sure you stick within those guidelines. Now, I picked out a random listing here. Let me just pull it up. So just picked out a random listing that we're going to kind of follow the same steps on how this information was filled out, and make sure you guys have a good understanding of how to do so. It all starts with the seller's name, right? So we see the seller's information there. You want to check out Geo Warehouse to cross-reference and make sure that it's the correct spelling and name on there, right? So we go into the Geo Warehouse section, you see the owner's name, Yan Tuk Dong, and then boom, right? So we want to make sure that's correct. So whenever you're starting to put a listing together for your client, make sure you check Geo Warehouse, search the address, make sure the name's correct, and then you can begin working from there as well. So other information you're going to be able to find from here, of course, lot size and legal description. These are important items that you're going to need for your listing, and it's all located right here. So on the MLS page, you'll see it here and here as you're going through. Now let's pull up the actual dashboard here where you'll actually start the transaction. And we can just call this one, let's go back, see what that address was, 41 Westdale Drive. And then we'll go test, okay? And once you create that over, let's give it a second to populate here. Hit next, hit next. So once you get to the contacts, this is where you want to drop in your actual seller's information. So you want to go add contacts, create new transaction contact. So you would go back to your warehouse. So Yen Tuk Dong. So we're going to go like that. And then grab the last name. And the email, we'll just come up with an email here. And make sure you guys, and you see it's brought up as a pro tip, but make sure you guys are using this information here because it will help populate when you're doing your web form signing. So let's go to seller. and save. And then you want to be adding yourself as well. And instead of general, you're going to put listing salesperson. And also add in House Sigma as a brokerage. So listing brokerage, save. Perfect. So you're going to go to next, and this is where you want to start finding the necessary documents you're going to need for the listing, right? So you want to go working with the realtor. You want to grab that, add that in. So once you type in listing agreement, depending on what type of listing you're doing, of course, in this situation, we're doing it for sale, but if it was a lease, it'd be different docs, but this one's going to be listing agreement, seller representation agreement, authority to offer for sale. Make sure it's in Ontario or Toronto if that's the area you're working out of. And last but not least, we want to drop in MLS data. So this one, you gotta, again, make sure you're doing it in the correct region, right? So we're gonna look for Toronto or Ontario. And then this was a freehold property, is that right? Yeah, detached. So we're gonna go MLS data form. Where are we here? There we go. MLS data form information, freehold for sale. Gonna add that in there. And let me just see if this pops up. So I don't have that on. Is this here? No. Okay, we'll circle back for that. So these are your main three docs that you're going to be looking at. You're also going to be uploading the Schedule B that can be found off of the agent toolkit. So make sure you guys are downloading the latest copy. So it's going to be found on the main page, Schedule B. And you can see that there was an update here. So once this loads, you'll hit that button. And then from here, you can download the updated Schedule B. Okay. Then we'll close that off, go back to the web forms. And once you go to the documents section here, just drag that in there. And that is the updated House Sigma Schedule B. And from here, you can start filling in this information. So let's just drop in, let's start with the listing agreement, easiest part to show. You see the seller's name is already populated. House Sigma's information is populated here. We're gonna grab the address 41 Westdale Drive. Toronto, Ontario. Grab the postal code. There we go. And we're saying it's starting today at on the 12th. 1st, 2022. And we're gonna go on a 3-month timeline here. Let's just try to always sign the 3-month listing agreements. There we go. And list price, they had it at, let's say, the 1.2. And this is where that commission comes in, right? So the commission you want to put here, it's either going to be the full 5%, 4%, whatever it is, but this is the total amount that we're looking for, okay? And what's going to the co-op and the holdover period. Keep that 90 days. At the bottom, let's go right to the bottom. So it's actually 20 seconds. Switch that to the 22nd. And this is all done on this side. So you got the listing agreement all written up. Most important one is going to be the MLS data form. There is a quick tip here. Once you fill in all of this necessary information, let it load for a second. There is a button here that says upload listing. So this will send all of the saved data over to the drafts on your add edit section. So once you're adding a listing here, under the add edit, if you hit drafts, it will populate here. So you don't have to fill in all the information again twice, okay? Keeps it nice and simple there. So the code you want to grab here is Toronto W05 Downsview. Now, if you don't know where to find this is a brand new listing, you don't know how to find this, there was no previous listing. On the left side of the screen here, there is a tread map. So if you hit that tread map button and you click on municipalities and communities and you zoom in to wherever the address is, and you can search the address by postal code, and then it will fall into this grid. And wherever it falls into, this is where your code is going to be generated from. Okay? Keep that in mind. So again, one more time, it's on the left side where the links are, and it's tread map. We're doing Toronto W05 Downs view for this one. So Toronto W05 Downs view. So this one, drive and postal code, fronting on. So again, if this wasn't on the previous listing, you would have to make sure you check which direction it's fronting on. So a quick way to do that. So if you search Google with the address, and then you open up the map, let's just zoom in here real quick. So this is Westdale Road. So they have it as fronting on the south side. So that's perfect. South side, and you can grab the full legal description from Geo Warehouse. And lot frontage, we got that as well. So 52 by 134. And it's in feet, so price point, you got property taxes. Make sure you guys get that from your clients on those listing appointments. And 2022. Possession date, this can vary depending on your situation, right? So you might have purchased a property and you guys need to line up those closing dates to do some sort of bridge loan. You can drop in that info here, you can give an exact date, right? Or you can say 30, 60, 90, which generally means you're like open, flexible, or you can do TBD, to be determined, whatever it is, right? Rarely you'll see an exact date, but it'll be somewhere between 30 to 90 days. Okay, and this one is detached. Let's go back. Make sure you guys are putting the right info here. So bungalow. Let's see where the bungalows are. And they got it as exterior as brick. And garage type, let's see what we got here. Garage types attached, and we have 5 in the drive, 1 in the garage. Garage is 1, drive is private, and there's 5 spaces on the driveway, and total 6. Don't believe there's a pool. water is going to be municipal. Again, if you're selling cottage country, double check this. It might be well water or possibly from the lake. Sewers is sewers. It could possibly be septic or holding tanks. Make sure you guys double check that. Special designation. If it's heritage, look out for that. This is unknown in this scenario. Approximate age, unless it's like brand new or less than 10 years, it's rare you see anyone put this in, mainly because of the way things get filtered. You never want to not show up on a filter that's an agent setting because of this little section that you checked off. So most people rather leave it wide open. Same with the square footage, generally speaking. And again, they've done that as well. Now with condos, they force you to choose a condo size and range. Okay. Rooms, got 6 rooms plus 3 in the lower level. So this is not bedrooms, this is just rooms in general. And then 3 bedrooms above grade, 1 below. So the +1, when it comes to freeholds, just so you guys have a good understanding, is below grade. So that means it's going to be in a lower level. The 3 bedrooms here is going to be above grade. So 3 bedrooms plus 1. It's 1 kitchen, I believe. Yep. Kitchen. Yep, we got 1 kitchen, okay. Washrooms. Let's have another look at this. We got 2 washrooms in total. Family room is above grade. Basement is finished. Now you do have a couple of options on this. Make sure you guys are inputting it correctly. So finish implies there's no separate entrance or no other way of accessing it besides the interior of the property. If it's a finished with a walk out, so keep in mind, walk out, not a walk up. A walk out means that you slide the door and you walk out and it's the same grading and same level as the lower level. Whereas a walk up is you open the door, you step out, and then you hit a set of stairs that takes you to ground level. Okay. Sometimes you'll have an apartment down there. That's where you want to fill in as an apartment. Gas fireplace or a fireplace in general, if it's on site. Forced air, this one's gas, forced air, central air. You want to confirm that with the previous listing or once you're on site as well. Here, you're going to be filling out the room sizes. Generally, what I like to do is get Housemax to get the room measurements done. And we attach all of that to the listing. And it makes things a lot easier so they know exact floor plans and square footages of each area. Description, you guys are going to drop in the description here. This could be about the area as well. The extra is going to be more related to the property. Talks about appliances, shadows, fixtures. And lastly, you're going to drop in information of how you want to send them, or they want to send you the offers. Make sure that you can put your email, your up-to-date email address here, and include any attachments you want to see as part of that offer. You can also include things like rent amounts if it's tenant occupied. If there's a special note you want to make sure the buyer agent is aware of, you want to be dropping that off here. Okay. A couple other things is phone numbers. You can put in the office number, you can put in your direct number, whichever way you prefer. Again, I've heard the argument for both ways. And then distribute to PDF IDX, distribute internet, display address on internet, permission to contact listing brokers advisor, you say yes. Contact after expired, usually no. And with the occupancy, make sure you answer this correctly. If it's vacant, or provide whatever it is. Now, once you finish filling this all in, that one button you hit, the upload listing, it sends it directly to the MLS. So let's just give it a minute. So it says upload successful. And let's see if it's uploaded. Let's refresh this page. There it is. You can see now everything has been transferred over. So once you hit continue, you can see all the information's all been preloaded here. Okay. You still need to go through and double check just to make sure everything was done correctly. With all the room sizes and everything else that you may have put in. And triple check the price. Okay, because you don't want to be contacting Trev to get fixed things. Double check that. And once you hit the launch listing, it'll go live. Before you do so, you'll attach all of the photos that you have to this, any attachments, and double check the map area as well. And if you do have a virtual tour link, this is where you'll get the opportunity to drop it in right there. So it'll show up on the listing itself. Okay. So there's so many different strategies, guys, that goes into the listing side of things. I'm sure that you guys have created your listing presentation off of Canva. We've created that template for you. So upload your own pictures, your own information, recent sales, whatever it is. And so that when you're in person presenting that to them, it's all nice and clean and well done, right? And keep in mind, if you're a new agent on the team and you're getting that listing opportunity, don't be afraid to reach out to any one of your teammates, collaborate with them, maybe someone that has more experience in the area. And ultimately, you can always showcase the overall House Sigma sales that happen in a particular pocket. If you ever get that objection of, have you worked in this pocket before? You're part of a team here at House Sigma, so use that to your advantage. You can always talk about how the team has done work in that neighborhood and you are a part of that team. And you can always bring on more members onto the listing if you need that assistance. Okay. So I'm going to drop in on the chat box here, see if there is any questions on. Selena says how the staging works. So with staging, we use House Max as well. We have a $3,000 cap. So the way it would work is you would get the design consultation ordered for whichever staging company you do use. And you just want to make sure you let them know we do have a $3,000 cap, the packs in and everything. So they have to stay within that budget, unless the House Sigma agent wants to go beyond that. And we cover it for 1 month. Renewals will be on the seller to decide to go with. Once you guys have ordered it and it's all been said and done, flip that over to me and Tatiana on an email. We'll get it paid and cleared up for you. But it's, if you have your own stager you're working with, that's not a problem. House Max does provide staging services as well. Perfect. Seems like the chat box is clear. For questions, feel free to reach out. Greatly appreciate you guys and enjoy the rest of the week, and we'll talk soon.
Thank you.